Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar, Self-Hosted Advantages. Thank you for joining today. So just before we go through the webinar, we'll just introduce ourselves. So my name is Sam Connor. I'm a sales engineer here at Intreface, and we are a Bitrix24 Gold partner. We're based in the UK, in the US and Hong Kong, and what we do is we provide a full range of services to help you with Bitrix24. That starts off with pre-sale support, where we can run through your requirements and discuss any particular features you want to check if Bitrix24 has on offer. If you decide Bitrix is a good fit for your business, we can provide a full implementation service. For the self-hosted edition that we're going to be focusing on today, we offer our own hosting services so we can host the product for you, and we can provide you with training and ongoing dedicated support to really help you get the most out of the system. And we would really recommend dedicated support for the self-hosted edition because it is a very powerful and dynamic solution. Okay, so what is Bitrix24? If you're new to understanding about Bitrix and you've come to the webinar today to get some more information, it is a collaboration suite offering sales, services, project management, HR, and many other features. It is currently used by over 8 million organizations around the world, and it is available in two different editions. We have the cloud and the self-hosted solution. And today we'll be going through the specifics of the self-hosted system. Prices start from $19 per month for a Bitrix cloud system, and for a self-hosted edition as a one-time fee license, you would be looking at $1,490 for the 12 user edition, and that goes up to, even for the self-hosted, on the unlimited user package. Okay, so today we're going through the self-hosted advantages, and first of all, we just want to discuss the different editions that are available for the self-hosted system. So the self-hosted system, it is available in 3 different versions. So you can see here we've got the Bitrix24.crm, the Bitrix24 Business Edition, and the Bitrix24 Enterprise Edition. Now the Bitrix24.crm, that's really for your smaller team. So that's for up to 12 people on the self-hosted system. So that's really the first level license. The next edition is the Bitrix24 Business Edition, and this is the most popular and usually what we find is the most suitable solution for most businesses. This ranges from 50 users up to 500, so it offers a good breadth of number of users that you can have on the system, and it comes with some additional features such as an extranet site, so you can invite in external users such as maybe your clients or suppliers. You can invite them into projects to work with you on those, and you can invite an unlimited number of external users. And you also have access to some other features such as the help desk module and the e-learning module. So the business edition does give you some additional features and you get more users for the system. Then you also have the Bitrix24 Enterprise Edition. And this is between either 1,000 users, 5,000 users, or unlimited users. And the Enterprise Edition, it is our most advanced product and allows a company to establish an unlimited number of intranet sites, which can be managed by one single global administrator. So you're allowed to set up multiple divisions of the Bitrix24 system. So if you have offices around the world, you could set up an instance for every single office. It can then be branded for each office with their own login to their branded area, and they can have their own separate intranet sites, but it can all be managed from one global control panel. So as I say there, for different offices, you may have different sites with different languages. for each one of those offices. That's a good example of how the enterprise system can be used. Okay, and all of these editions here, the same kind of structure. So all of these can be hosted locally. You can host on your own private cloud, or here at Intreface, we also offer our own hosting services. So if you wanted some partner to manage the hosting for any of these editions, please do get in contact and we can discuss that with you. Okay, so moving on now to some of the benefits of the self-hosted system. So one of the main benefits of the self-hosted solution is how customizable the platform is. So we have access to the source code and the API with the self-hosted system. So it is a fully customizable solution. And you can customize it fairly extensively, and we'll have a look at some customizations later on in the webinar. Another very important benefit is the ability to rebrand the system. So we can remove the Bitrix24 branding, and you can then add your own specially designed login pages, so that can have your corporate branding and logo on the site. And that can then, especially for if you're inviting external users, that could be a really important feature, that the system is branded up and is your own branded solution for inviting in potential clients. With the self-hosted, we also have access to the control panel, and the control panel is the area ready for your administrators. We wouldn't recommend having your standard users entering the control panel. This is where you're able to make changes to all the different modules in Bitrix24. And those modules, they can be configured in very advanced ways within the control panel. So if you're currently using, say, a cloud edition, hopefully you'll be very surprised to see some of the additional functionality that we have in the control panel. And that's been quite an important area we've found for clients recently. Is we've had quite a few clients who move and migrate from a cloud system to a self-hosted solution, and it's a very practical way to do this. If you're interested in branding up your Bitrix24 cloud system, we can migrate you from the Bitrix24 cloud to a self-hosted system to take advantage of all of these benefits. So you don't lose any data or information from your cloud system. It can all be migrated across, and you can then start taking advantage of the benefits of the self-hosted system. Okay, so we've mentioned at the top there that you have full access to the source code. So this means if the customization you want can't be configured from within the control panel, it is usually possible to actually directly configure the code to meet your specific customization requirements. And Bitrix is built on its own framework in PHP. So really changing that source code, it should only be attempted if you have extensive experience of actually using PHP, as well as really good extensive knowledge of the Bitrix24 platform. As we mentioned, it is a very advanced solution, so please do get in contact if you are thinking about any customizations, and we can discuss that with you and how we can help you with those customizations. Another benefit is the ability to integrate. So with the self-hosted system, we have access to the API. So this allows you to integrate really with thousands of other web applications, and we can build an integration for you. And you can decide exactly the type of integration, if that's a one-way integration or a two-way, and how often that integration should be connected. And finally, we briefly talked about this when we looked at the different editions that are available. The self-hosted system also has a number of extra features that aren't available on the cloud system, such as the help desk and e-learning module. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of those benefits in a bit more detail. And specifically, first of all, let's have a look at some of the customizations that are available. So one of the main reasons for choosing a self-hosted option, it is the ability to customize the look and really the feel of your intranet system. And the site can be customized to match your corporate branding and look, and the functionality can also be configured to make using the system more intuitive. And we found that's a really important aspect for clients when they're looking at self-hosted. It's the ability to actually remove modules, remove features that you know your users don't need to use. So what we can do is we can strip out and remove any features you don't want your users to have access to. So in terms of permissions, we can really configure permissions to your specific requirements with the self-hosted system, so it can be styled to exactly how you want it to work. In terms of editing, any page can be edited, and administrators can create custom pages using what we call the page editor wizard. And we're going to have a look at how simple it is to create your own pages on the self-hosted system. In terms of navigation, kind of briefly talked about it there, the ability to improve the user experience is a real advantage with the self-hosted system. So we can configure the left-hand menu. For each role in the system, we can customize what modules they're able to access in that navigation menu. And then it just makes it a lot easier for users to use the system. And especially if it's a new solution you're implementing, it's important to get buy-in from the organization who are using the system. So keeping it as simple as possible is really important. Okay, moving on to dashboards. It is possible to create custom dashboards to display different sets of data on pages, such as could be a sales dashboard or a project dashboard. And with the customer portal, this is available on both the cloud and the self-hosted, but the very big issue is that with the self-hosted system, this can be branded up. So we can add your corporate branding where the customer logs in. And with the self-hosted, you get the flexibility to actually customize that external site. So we can configure what information is displayed in the customer portal. And finally, all modules are customizable, and it is possible to create your own bespoke modules to perform. It could be specific tasks or options within your business that you need to display. You could create a custom portal inside the system. Okay, so let's just have a look at that customization in some more detail. Okay, so let's just go into our Bitrix24 system. So this is the self-hosted edition. So we can see here that customization we've talked about. This is the login page to the self-hosted system. So it's a fully customizable and rebrandable system. So we've removed all the Bitrix branding. We've added our own corporate branding here. And we've also got our own domain, demo.intreface. So you can customize the domain where users would log in. Another benefit of the self-hosted system is if you want to integrate a single sign-on through your Active Directory, that is another feature that is available with the self-hosted system. Or if it's not through Active Directory, if it's another type of login system, such as OneLogin, for example, we have the ability to create those customizations for you to have single sign-on capability. Okay, so let's now log in to the system. Okay, so we've just logged into the Bitrix24 system. We mentioned about the control panel. So this is a feature you wouldn't have access to if you were on a cloud system. So if I just open up the control area here, this now opens up lots of administrator tools that allow you to build out customizations on the system. So I can turn on the edit mode here. And this would now allow me to start editing the Bitrix24 system in here. So if I wanted to, I could start going in and editing menu items, for example. So you can see how easy it would be using the control panel to start configuring and customizing the system. I can create new pages and sections, or I can edit existing pages, all through this control panel functionality. So this is a tool that would only be available with the self-hosted system. Okay, and let's actually look at creating our very own page now inside the system. And just before we do that, mention as well about the branding where on the login page, we also have the ability there to add your logo into the system. You can do this on the cloud as well. But on the left-hand side in the menu here, with the self-hosted system, we can remove any particular modules you don't want users to be using or to access. So with the cloud system, you can move those to the hidden section. But with the self-hosted system, we can physically remove those modules. So we can strip out any specific modules you don't want your users to be able to even access or see in the system. But in terms of customization, we've mentioned how you can create your own pages in the system. So we're in our company module here. So this is where we've got some information about the organization. And what we want to do is add a brand new page into here where we can share information about policies. So I'm going to show you now how simple it is to create a brand new page in the system. And to do this, we're going to go into the back end of the system, into the control panel. Okay, and this takes us into the content area. And what we're going to go into is into the Site Explorer, into files and folders, and we're going into the About section. So that's where that page is going to be located in the company area. And first of all, what we need to do is to actually create that brand new page that will be displayed on the system. And to do this, I'm just going to go into Add and add a new file. Okay, so this is actually where now I'm going to start populating the page that we are creating for the inside of our teams who are able to access the Bitrix24 system. And a very popular type of page that you could create is a policies page. Okay, so it's giving me a title, it's giving me the file name there, and I can now start adding my information into here. Okay, so I've just added some information. You can upload images, add your own HTML into here. So it's a very dynamic page that you can customize on this control panel. So I'm just going to save this in the system. Okay, so we've just added a new page, and now what we need to do is add a menu item. So we're able to click on a menu item to access that page. And what we do for this is if we just go into the menu type here, and I'm just going to edit the menu. Okay, so this is now where I can add all the information about the title for that menu. So I'm going to say the page was called policies, so let's call the name there policies, and we need to add a link. So that's going to be about policies. Okay, so we've added a name for the title on the menu, and we're just going to apply that and save. Okay, so we've created a page and we've created a menu in the system. Okay, and we go back into the company area and we can see there at the top, we've now got a policies tab in the system. And that's opened up a new page where we added some information, and that's been pulled through into that policies page. So that's how easy it is to create your own pages in the system. So you can really pull in as much information, add as many tabs and menu items into here as you like. It is a fairly simple process, and we can provide training, and we can create brand new pages for you. And what we can then also do is we could pull information from other areas of the system. So for example, if we go into our control panel again, I could go into here and edit the page. Okay, so that then opens up that page customization tool. And within here, it may be that you want to add some additional information. So I could then add that data into here, for example. Or you could even pull information from different areas. So if I just come out of here and go into Okay, you might want to add some HTML, so I could then pull information from different areas of the system. For example, if you wanted to bring information from the CRM, you could pull lead or deal information directly into this page. Okay, so that's how easy it is to create your own pages in the system. But it may be that actually some of these pages you want to set restrictions on. So it may be only certain people you want to be able to access this particular page. So let's just go back into the control panel and see how we can set those permissions. Okay, and let's just go back into the menu edit section. So we want to configure actually who's able to access this policies page. So what we do is we go into the advanced mode. And within here, this then opens up that specific policies page. And what we can do is we could set that this page is only for specific user groups. So let's say, for example, it's only for everyone who is, let's say, an administrator. So you can customize here exactly who is able, based on the groups in your system, who is able to access those pages that you create. So that's really useful if you want to set restrictions for the different types of users in your Bitrix24 system that are able to access those pages. Okay, so let's look at creating a page, and we've also mentioned quite heavily about the ability to create an external site. So another feature that's available is the ability to create external intranet systems. So inside here, you have the ability to create an extranet site. Now, that is available on both the cloud and self-hosted, but with the self-hosted edition, we can customize the branding and the look of the extranet site. So for example, again, we branded this up and we've also got our own domain for this external site. So when the customer logs in, they'll log into that branded login page we saw at the start, and they'll come into this customized portal area. And you can see on the left-hand side, we've only got several menu items, so we're customizing what options they have access to. And on the right-hand side, we can see some different banners that we have got. So we could easily click on those to go through to the support section, for example. So this shows you the level of customization you can do on the external site. Okay, so let's look at some of the customization features available. Let's just check if we have any questions which we can run through. Okay, so can you start with the cloud version, then transfer to the self-hosted version from the beginning? Yes, absolutely. So if you wanted to start off on the Bitrix24 cloud system, get a feel for using the system, then if you wanted to then move to a self-hosted edition, that's absolutely fine. What we can do is we can migrate your cloud edition to a self-hosted system, so you can then start taking advantage of the self-hosted benefits. And your users wouldn't really notice any difference to their system in terms of the actual functionality of the data that's on their system. You don't lose any existing information or data. All of that will get pulled across to the self-hosted system. You will just find there may be a few hours of downtime just as the migration is actually taking place, but we can manage the whole migration process for you. Okay, can I get multiple customer portals? So in terms of the extranet portal, it is one portal in itself, but we can customize what each user is able to access on the system. So if you have specific requirements that you want to discuss, please do email sales@intreface.com and we can discuss those with you to see how those can be managed on the self-hosted edition. Okay, so now let's have a look at some of the additional advanced features that are available with the self-hosted edition. So the features include all of those currently available with the Bitrix24 cloud system. So if you are using a cloud system and interested in moving to a self-hosted edition, you will still continue with every single feature that you have on the cloud edition, plus all the additional benefits that we are discussing in the webinar today. In terms of some additional features, we have access to the help desk, which is a tool that allows you to manage your customer support inquiries. So customers can log their inquiries on a portal, and the help desk staff process those tickets according to predefined rules. So we'll have a look at this system in a minute. This is a really useful tool for managing support requests from your customers. We also have the e-learning module. So this is a set of tools which assist in really the training of your employees. So what the e-learning module does is it allows you to build your own courses, and then staff members can take those courses, and at the end they can conduct tests to demonstrate their knowledge on a particular subject area that you want them to focus on. And it's also possible to configure a user's profile page so we can show test badges when they have completed a test. Within the control panel, we also have a really robust analytical area. So the analytics, it's really an essential way to understand the success of your intranet system. So it gives you a really good area to analyze what areas of the system are being used, and maybe also what areas of the system are being underutilized. So these are just a few of the additional features that are available with the self-hosted version. Many others exist, and you can create your own customizations. So if you're wanting to build your own custom modules, then that's another area we can look at with you. If you want to email sales@intreface.com, we can discuss any customizations with you. Let's just take a look at some of these features in a bit more detail. So first of all, let's just have a look at the help desk system. So we're in our extranet site here, so a user could log in to the system and they could then have access to their support area. And this is all to do with that help desk module. So the help desk module, it will allow either your internal team or your customers to submit support tickets. And there are 3 different ways you can submit a ticket. So the first way is actually by using the ticketing feature here. So I now have a display where I need to add a subject for the title and what that message is to create that ticket. And further down here, you can see I can also add some documents or attachments to give some more clarity as to what that request is about. Now, the information that you see here, all of those fields, that can be completely customized. You might want to add additional fields into here, rename what those field headers are. That can be completely customized. We also have what we call the support wizard. And this actually starts to channel a ticket before it gets submitted. So here we can see in the support wizard, we have to go through different steps. So first of all, we're going to select what option our ticket is associated to. So I'm going to choose computer problem. And then once I've selected that computer problem, it's now opened up 2 boxes where I need to input additional information. But if I just go back from there, let's say if I choose printer problem, what it's now asking me are completely different questions. So it's a different box here that I now need to fill in. And we've also got a drop-down list where I now need to select an option. So it's really useful using the support wizard because it allows you to channel tickets and make sure you're getting as much information and clarity on the support request before it gets submitted. So once it now goes through and it creates a ticket in the help desk module, you're going to have all of that information ready for your support team to access. And That's the second way you can create a ticket using the help desk module. The third way is by setting up a rule on a mailbox. So if we just go into the control panel, and if we go into our area where we can set up all of our mailboxes, so this is now back in the control panel. And what you can do is you can set up rules on your mailboxes. So if we just go into our mailbox area, what you can do is you can set rules in place. So for example, you may set up a mailbox which is our support at Intreface mailbox, for example. And based on that, we can put a rule on that mailbox. So if specific people who have access to support email into that mailbox, we could then automatically create a brand new help desk ticket in the module. So through that email, it can automatically create you a ticket. And here you can see the help desk module. So I can go into here and see all of the different tickets that are currently being worked on in the system. You can create filters. So you might want to create filters on certain types of tickets or based on the indicators, so the priority level. And I can go into any of those tickets and I can then see the full log of information that has taken place on that request. So as a support member of the team, I could go into here and go into the ticket and start answering the ticket. Once I add a message into here, that will go back to the customer via an email attachment. And we can also set different levels of priority. So if you have SLA levels for different types of clients, you can set those different levels in here for how quickly a ticket needs to be completed. Okay, so that's a look at the help desk module. You also have the ability, if we just go actually back into the control panel, another new feature with the self-hosted edition is the e-learning module. So what you can do in the e-learning module is create your very own courses. So inside here, we have a selection of courses that we have built. So very common types of courses may be a health and safety course. So you can build your courses in the system here. And what you can then do is you can get either, it could be the entire team or business, or you may want certain users to actually complete this particular course. And at the end of this, you can then have a test. So at the end of this health and safety course, you could have a test that needs to be completed by the people who have just taken that course. And you can add all of your different questions and answers into this area of the system. For the e-learning module, it's only available with the self-hosted edition, and it has to be at least a business edition for you to create your very own courses in the system that your users can then take. Okay, so let's look at some of the additional features with the self-hosted edition. Okay, please do add any other questions into the question window. Okay, hello. The external user count towards the total number of licenses we acquire, or are they separated from the internals? Yeah, that's a really good question. So the external users, they are completely separate to the internal users on the system. So, for example, if you were looking at a Business 50 edition of the self-hosted, that would mean you have access for 50 users on the internal side of the Bitrix24 system. So those would be the members of your organization, your business, who would be accessing all of the different modules in the system, such as the CRM, the company intranet, for example. The external users would only have access to the extranet site. So for example, they wouldn't be able to go into the internal areas such as in the CRM system here. And you can have an unlimited number of external users. There is no cap on the number of external users that you have on the system. Okay, if there are any more questions, please add them into the chat box and we'll run through those before the end of the session today. Okay, so moving on then to look at the different types of integrations that are available. So this is really, I'd say, the third really important benefit of the self-hosted system. We've talked about branding, we've talked about customizations. The next aspect is really integrations. And there are lots of different ways you can integrate with a self-hosted edition because we have access to the API and additional features. So you could, for example, build forms on a public-facing website and bring that information into Bitrix. And for example, that could be a form you've not actually built in the Bitrix24 system. We could use email to integrate. So as we mentioned with the self-hosted, it allows you to fully sync incoming emails into the CRM. And although you can do this with the Cloud Edition, you're only able to sync for up to 90 days with the Professional Cloud Edition. With the Self-Hosted Edition, it could just be a continuous sync. So there is no time threshold on that email integration. It can just sync every single email from that mailbox. We can also put email rules in place. So those can be configured to create certain items. So it could be maybe a specific task has to be created when an email comes in. So there are different types of integrations we can do there. And we've also mentioned how you could set rules in place. So when an email comes into a specific mailbox, we could create a brand new support ticket. We also have the APIs. So Bitrix includes an API which allows for integration with other web services. So, for example, ones we have integrated with include Trello, e-commerce packages. We're integrated with Sage. So there's lots of different additions, and also Oracle is another very popular tool, that software that we integrate with. And if you do have any questions about integrations, or if you're interested in integrating the Bitrix24 self-hosted system with another platform, please do email sales@Intreface.com and we can set up a meeting with you to discuss that integration in more detail. Okay, so moving on to actually the hosting options that are available for the self-hosted edition. So obviously this is a big difference compared to the Bitrix24 cloud system. With the self-hosted, you do need to select a hosting environment for the system. So you have a choice to host either it could be in-house, or you have the ability to have a partner provide their own hosting services. So for self-hosting, we provide a virtual appliance, and this is a free application that allows Bitrix to be run in a pre-configured and fully secured virtual environment. And this saves time on product installation and maintenance, and it also improves overall system performance. But alternatively, Bitrix can be hosted and managed by a partner, and this is what we class as a dedicated cloud solution. Okay, so really the benefits of partner hosting are that the server performance is all managed by the partner, so you don't need to worry about getting your server set up correctly, and we'll get the server optimized for speed. And also as a partner, we ensure your data is secure and backed up to your specific backup requirements. So that's another benefit of the self-hosted, is you can control how often the system is backed up. And also projects can be scaled. So without having to invest in further hardware or a new server, we can add additional scalability to your system. We've been working with a client in Europe who has thousands and thousands of leads that come into their self-hosted edition on a daily basis. And we've scaled up their system to be able to manage the new influx and increase of leads that are fully integrated into the CRM system, around 20,000 leads per day. Okay, so those are the different options. So you can either host it locally on a private server or on a private cloud system, or you can have a partner provide their hosting services. Okay, and then moving on to the pricing. So This does depend on which edition of the Bitrix24 self-hosted you're interested in. The first level, that's the 12-user edition. The license is $1,490 in year one. And with that, you receive all the updates Bitrix24 release and any maintenance features. And in year two and ongoing annually, to continue with those updates, you need to pay a renewal fee, which is approximately 25% of the license fee. So you'll be looking at $372.50 for that 12-user edition as a renewal. You need to take into context the hosting. So if you're going to host yourself, that's absolutely fine. We can install the self-hosted software onto your server. If you're looking at partner hosting, you would be looking at approximately $2,250 for around 100 gig of hosting. And then you need to take into context the additional prices for any type of customizations or if there are any certain integrations you require. And hopefully you'll have seen today how customizable the system is and also how dynamic the product is. So training and ongoing dedicated support, it really is critical for the self-hosted system. Otherwise you can get into difficulty. It's really important to have that expertise there to help you with the self-hosted system. Okay, so in summary today, we've looked at how customizable the self-hosted edition of Bitrix24 is and the additional features compared to the cloud system. We've seen how it can be integrated through mailbox rules or through using the API to add more data and information into the system. And we've also looked there at some of the additional features that are available with the self-hosted system, from the e-learning module through to the ability to rebrand the system and the option to have the help desk module. Okay, so just a question there before we finish about the pricing. So let me just go back to the pricing page for you. For that pricing there, the license you would pay as a one-time fee. So $1,490 in year one, and that's then yours to use for life. But that renewal there, $372.50, is for updates to the system and maintenance, which we would highly recommend. So you should budget for the renewal fee, which, as I say, is approximately 25% of the license, and you would pay that in year two and ongoing annually. Okay, so here's a look at some of the up and coming webinars we have for you. So thank you for joining for the Self-Hosted Advantages webinar today. I hope you found this useful. If you do have any other questions about the system, or if you'd like to set up a meeting to discuss your self-hosted requirements in more detail, please do email sales@intreface.com. The details are on the slide here. We can then arrange that and evaluate your requirements. Okay, but thank you for joining today, and hopefully see you next week on the next Bitrix24 webinar.